Welcome, everyone. We're excited for this beautiful day and celebrating our own volunteers and heroes and ambassadors for humanitarian service. We like to start with a moment of silence, bringing ourselves to this moment and really focusing on what we would like to get out of this wonderful hour, celebrating our volunteers and the volunteer spirit of Meaningful World. So you can close your eyes and focus on your breath. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here with you and to review the 32 years of humanitarian outreach, over 120 missions Meaningful World has done around the world in 48 countries, in 7 regions of the world, as well as 26 states in United States of America. We have helped people in natural disasters, human-made disasters, accidental disasters, and in political distress and conflict, as well as wars, genocides, unfortunately, and many other atrocities. What we believe is when one helps another, both become stronger. So together we are here to show that how strong we are united. The United Nations was focusing, especially from the High Commissioner for Human Rights, was focusing on 3 Ps of international organization and civil society engagement. The 3 Ps are protection, promotion, and participation. Well, we have at Meaningful World our own 7 Ps. The Ps are persistence, perseverance, patience, passion, partnerships, prayers for peace. So let's hear now, let's put our hands together and give a warm welcome to Nicole, who's going to present a little bit short PowerPoint on the history, how the UN began this observation and celebration of World International Humanitarian Day. It started during the Iraq War. That was an unnecessary war that we were there. But the Human Rights Commissioner and a few civil society, including myself, we were planning to go to Iraq to help. And the UN officials and the UN team was able to get the visas. But the civil society, 3 of us, including myself, we were not able to do that. And unfortunately, they targeted the UN building and everybody from the UN were killed. Nikki?
Hey everyone, I'm Nikki. Thank you all for coming. World Humanitarian Day origins. So there was a suicide bombing at the Canal Hotel in Iraq on August 19, 2008. 22 people were killed, and Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, the leader of the terrorist organization, claimed responsibility for this attack about a year afterwards. And it forever changed the UN security practices globally. Amongst those killed was UN Special Representative in Iraq, Sergio Vieira de Mello, and wounded a very prominent UN rights lawyer and political activist, Dr. Amin Mekki Madani. This year, they instituted a new hashtag, Real Life Heroes. The campaign focuses on what drives humanitarian aid workers to continue their work despite lack of resources, lack of access, conflict, and constant insecurity. And this year they really did focus on COVID-19. So they also shared inspiring personal stories of the humanitarians treating and preventing COVID-19, providing food, to vulnerable people in need, providing safe spaces for women and girls in lockdown, delivering babies, fighting locusts, and running refugee camps, all amid the COVID-19 pandemic. So some facts and figures on what the humanitarian aid workers had to go through this year in the line of providing their service. So last year, 483 aid workers were attacked, 125 killed, 234 wounded, and 124 were kidnapped, in a total of 277 separate incidents. Most of the attacks occurred in Syria, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Afghanistan, Central African Republic, Yemen, and Mali. The World Health Organization reported 1,009 attacks against healthcare workers and facilities, resulting in 199 deaths and 628 injuries.
If this were a story, it would start with a hero, someone with a great destiny who saves the day. This isn't a story. There are no quests, no monsters, no surprise twist at the end. It's real life, a complicated world where ordinary people do the saving. Where heroes are made, not with costumes or magical abilities, but by being human. Stepping up to help, time after time after time, with grit and compassion, without any superpowers at all, because they're not the heroes of some fictional world. They're the real-life heroes of ours. And this World Humanitarian Day, we thank each and every one of them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, that captures everything.
So in memory of our amazing humanitarian workers, the UN Chamber of Music Society had a beautiful event, and I'm going to provide you with a short sample of the music that they did virtually.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Here's an example of somebody who's doing something great for current efforts against COVID-19. Her name is Zainab Murtala, and she's a monitoring and reporting officer with the Nigerian Humanitarian Fund in Northeast Nigeria. She runs clinics and supports millions of vulnerable people in different states.
My name is Zainab Murtala, and I am the Monitoring and Reporting Officer for the Nigerian Humanitarian Fund, managed by UN OCHA. I became a humanitarian because of the crisis in Darfur. I remember when it was happening, seeing the images on CNN, and just seeing the humanitarian workers walking around the camps and helping people, seeing people's responses, the scale of human suffering. It was something that really touched me, and I just knew then that I wanted to be one of the people that helped people like that who were in those situations. More recently, I remember being in an IDP camp and speaking to female beneficiaries of a clinic that had been built. I was asking one of them, like, so do you ever use the clinic? And she said, of course I do. We never had any back home. So just hearing her say it and talking about how the services she was receiving, the fact that she was being helped with free drugs because she couldn't afford it, it meant something, and it stuck in my mind because I knew we were making a difference. I usually go around just looking at projects that are being implemented and supported by the Nigerian.
This is a beautiful example of one of our real life heroes, and there's so many stories that the UN presented about doctors and aid workers and people rising up within their communities to assist with UN efforts. But I felt it more appropriate, since we have so many real life heroes with us today, that they share their stories and we can celebrate their efforts.
All right, thank you so much. Let's give a big hand. Thank you for that presentation. Wonderful. Now I'm going to invite Sam, who is our research intern, and she will start reading the names of our real-life heroes of Meaningful World. And
so Malika Aki.
I don't see her. Malika helped us in Haiti.
Rita Alexander.
Rita and her daughter, Virginia Alexander, they were mother and daughter team that we worked in 4 countries in Africa, Rwanda, Kenya, Burundi, and Congo.
Blanca Angial.
Blanca was helping us in the Middle East, in Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, and Israel.
Emily Bales.
Emily also helped us in Haiti.
David Dewad.
David helps us in Africa.
Jennifer Demucci.
Jennifer helped us in Armenia.
Dr. Daria Diakonova Curtis.
Daria helped us in Armenia.
Dr. Edmund Gergiaran.
Edmund Gergerian helped us in Armenia.
Michelle Gonnen.
Michelle Gonnen is here. What being in the humanitarian mission, how has that helped you to discover a new meaning or reinforce a previous meaning or help you be the better version of yourself?
So I became a psychologist and have continued kind of my training in terms of learning different trauma treatments and kind of providing that to clients. And got to work with Ani and the team kind of going to Haiti. Now it's been 20 years back already. And getting to work kind of in kind of the orphanage kind of there, as well as kind of doing some training for individuals who were kind of wanting to pursue kind of this line of work and kind of giving them kind of a training in the model. So I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much, Michelle. Congratulations.
Dr. Richard Griff.
Dr. Griff was going to join. Unfortunately, let's send him our deep condolences. His father passed away yesterday, and so we deeply remember him and send him lots of love and patience to go through this difficult time. I'm sorry.
Adrian Hansen.
Yes, Adrian and Catherine Hansen, mother and son team, were able to help us in Jordan and Lebanon missions. Dr. Beth Helen of our Canadian Meaningful World chapter, and she helped us in Haiti.
Art Jaffe.
Art Jaffe helped us a few missions in Haiti.
Alexa Kaufman.
Yes, Alexa Kaufman from Columbia University Clinical Psych Program. She was with us in Haiti.
RAMAN KAUR.
RAMAN KAUR is here with us, so let's give a big hand for RAMAN.
First of all, I'm super glad to be here with all these beautiful, amazing souls who are on a similar track of trying to make a world a better place. With Meaningful World, I met Dr. Ani Kalayjian at Columbia, and I felt so inspired by, how she took the spiritual component with the psychological component and really tried to kind of alleviate stress and trauma using these various different healing modalities. I thought that was brilliant because, you don't see that a lot, especially in like a traditional clinical psychology setting or like any sort of mental health setting. So what I loved about Meaningful World and working in Haiti was I saw the first sort of face-to-face recognition of how these mental health modalities can cross cultural barriers, right? Like there was the mental health component of like, okay, if our ecologically we're not like safe, we're not feeling environmentally safe, we're not going to feel mentally safe, right? So I thought that was something that I really took away from that. And I consider myself a very spiritual person, and I know it has nothing to do with religion, but more of like connecting with Mother Earth and connecting with each other, that there's like an underlining golden silver like connection that like connects every single individual. And when I was in Haiti, I feel like even though I didn't understand the language, I was able to like do so much, you know, just with the energy exchange that we did. It was like a heart-to-heart connection. It wasn't like a traditional, I'm going to sit here and judge you and analyze you. It's like, no, I'm here with you. And, you know, working with psychologists and psychiatrists in Haiti and like teaching them like, hey, there's like a different approach to mental health. It doesn't have to be that traditional thing, which I don't think is quite relatable in some settings, right? Like you kind of really have to change and shift, you know, in different environments. And I thought in Haiti, we did such a beautiful job. LORRAINE, Dr. Ani, I don't know if SHAYLA's here, but it was so beautiful, I feel like, just to kind of connect with people in that heart-to-heart space. So that's what I really carry away from Meaningful World and implement in my own practice too, is that, you know, at the end of the day, we can have all these theories in our mind and be very theoretical, but if you don't have the knowledge embodied, there's no way you can connect to another human being. So I think that's what I carried is, as a humanitarian, you're not going there to save someone, you're going there to connect, right? You're going to make these lifelong connections. And with that connection and being human and embodying these practices yourself, which I think with Meaningful World you do, right? You go through these several hours with Dr. Ani, which she's like, if you know Dr. Ani, she wants you to have it so like on point. So I remember all those hours really helped because, you know, we did the healing journey ourselves as facilitators. And if you're not, I think that's the other number one important thing that Dr. Ani was ahead of the curve almost, is like, you know, a few years back, you know, that was the number one thing you shared was access that trauma within yourself and clear that out, and then you can help them. But I'm so, so thankful for every single one of you. And Dr. Ani, I'm always so, so, so grateful for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Catherine Case.
Yes, Catherine Case went to Haiti, to Armenia, and she's working now, and a lot of our volunteers are working now. It's I'm sorry that we had to do it at this hour because our UN commitment and UN team on Thursdays. So I really appreciate those who made a very big effort to be here in person.
SOWMYA KSHATRIYA.
SOWMYA KSHATRIYA. SOWMYA, you're here. Wonderful.
So hi everybody. I've been working with Meaningful World for almost 3 years now, and I feel very grateful for this wonderful experience that I've had. Very fortunate to go to Haiti on a humanitarian mission, where I received the opportunity to work with the local residents over there. We collaborated with the university professors, social workers, teachers. We met police. We worked with police. We worked with orphanages and old age homes, and it was a life-changing experience, to be honest, because I realized that at the end of the day, no matter how different like your language could be or your culture could be, we're all human and we share these human emotions, and through our humanity we find unity, and with kindness and with love for each other we could lift each other up. So it was a great experience, and going to Meaningful World, I really understood. Dr. Ani says this, that we have to feel one with the pulse of the nation. So it was a lot of hard work, a lot of intense work, but at the same time, we staying there and roaming around with the locals really made makes you feel one with the pulse of the nation, and it's a beautiful experience. So that's what I wanted to
Thank you
share.
so much, Soumya. Soumya exemplifies how one person can experience different levels of leadership.
Crystal Lee Berry.
Yes, Crystal Berry helped us in Lebanon and Syria, and we had kind of a very traumatic situation there where the building next to us was bombed by the Israeli military, and we were in house arrest and in Beirut. And now with the bombing, we're exchanging a lot of text and calls together. We remember being there, and we remember helping the people right there, and we remember the resilience of the Lebanese, where it was bombed just today, and 6 o'clock at night when the roads and everything was clear, then we were able to get out of our hotels or rooms. You saw everybody out in the restaurants. We had to go through 7 restaurants to find a table because everybody was out like it was the last day of their life. And that's the Lebanese Beirut, the spirit of resilience that although they've gone through almost 50 years of different kinds of occupations and bombing and tragedies, they are survivals. And I like to also send prayers to my cousins that are suffering there in Beirut, and hope you join me with that.
Julie Lyra.
Yes, Reverend Julie Lyra is here. Hi.
Hi, Dr. Ani.
Hi.
I would like to say thank you, first of all, for having me. Some of the things that I really learned on the missions, I was in Africa, in Sierra Leone. I then went to Haiti after the earthquake, and then recently went back to Haiti. And I find that each mission has its own heartbeat, its own different things to teach us as humanitarians. But the biggest thing that links all of them together is the things that we learn from the people we come across. Our motto, "One life helps another," really resonates in all that we do. And I feel like the biopsychosocial method is tried and true, and it works. People tell their stories, and by listening to other people's stories, our own become clearer, and we're able to step forward on our path. That's all.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, it was great experiences we had in Africa and in Haiti. You want to share some of those stories?
I don't know if I'm allowed to. The coming together after hearing having our day, doing our work, in the evening coming together as the workers and sharing what we learned that day, and telling our motivation for the day and what propelled us forward. We had great laughs, and we had good tears, and it was fun. It's hard to call a mission fun because you do hear a lot of tragedy, and you're moved by the stories of others, but at the same time your life shifts, sometimes painful, and definitely helpful in the growth. I remember as a humanitarian sitting going, how do I speak to, we were in a hospital, the earthquake had just happened, there were bodies all over the place, there were no buildings, we were in a hospital with no roof, people were having babies on the sidewalk, and we built a tent school, and we were doing our work, and I didn't know how to, even though we had been trained, how to reach out and come face to face with some of the things that we were hearing. And we were driving to the epicenter, and we were in a car accident and taken to the Canadian hospital. Do you remember this? And Dr. Ani had broken ribs. There were people that were on our team that were killed and through this accident. And we were taken into a new hospital, and it was the Canadian hospital, and they had tents set up. And that evening we came back together, and we were home, and we were talking about the day and just processing it, coming from a more open, compassionate place, because I had just experienced something traumatic for me. And not that you have to go and have a trauma happen to listen to trauma, but I know that shifted our team into a place of super hyper focus, and we were able to come at the work from a different perspective.
Thank you so much for that. Yes, we survived.
We did.
It was a challenge.
Through. And that's what it's about.
And thank you so much. I'm gonna invite now Jasmine to play a little short clip from our recent Puerto Rico mission. And we're sending love and safety to Puerto Rico and the Caribbean who are experiencing the hurricane season. This is our last day in Puerto Rico, and for the first time, we only had about 6 weeks of planning to come to this mission, which is really unlike all other missions where we have minimum of 4 to 6 months ahead of time to prepare. But very, very organically, the connections grew from one University of Puerto Rico in 11 campuses to 12 to 15 different organizations, to from 10 workshops to 17 workshops. We finished today, our finale was 300 participants, and they surprised us with drums, music, and dancing. And we did our soul surfing for the first time with music and dancing, which was our goal all along in New York, what we haven't been able to actualize. And here we did it. Not only we help people, then we ask them to fill questionnaires so that we can learn the similarities and differences in how people cope when things break down, when life is hard. How do we cope? What do we do? So the research shows that first of all, releasing is very, very important. That's the first step. Thank you for that. Let's continue with our real life heroes.
Dana Mark.
Yes, she also was with us in Sierra Leone as well as in Haiti.
Nanar
Nakashian was with us in our last mission in October 2019 in Armenia, where we started launching the first suicide lifeline, suicide prevention lifeline, and the first Psychi chapter of Honor Society of Psychology, which just got inaugurated last week.
Abigail Ortega.
Abigail Ortega was with us for a few missions, and now she's starting California, a branch of Meaningfulworld.
Dr. Leslie Popov
was with us in our mission in Armenia, as well as Puerto Rico.
Yasmin Kwadomi.
Yasmin Kadumi, she was with us in Middle East, in Israel, Palestine, Jordan.
Michael Retta.
Micah Rita was with us in Haiti.
Lisa Schiller.
Lisa Schiller also was with us in Haiti.
Lorraine Simmons.
Lorraine Simmons was with us many times in Haiti as well as Armenia.
Susan Smith.
Susan Smith helped us in the Middle East.
Georgiana
Shafleti, she helped us in our mission in Romania.
SHAYLA
Tumbling. I think SHAYLA is here.
Hi, nice to see you. How has Meaningful World impacted my life? much more than I can put in 1 minute, but I will be concise. Um, Something I've learned in the years since I've been doing all types of work, more recently, is that there's an energy that's connected to things, and the people who create things or who birth things, if we speak in the terms of birthing, their energy is connected to it. And I feel that's very true for Meaningful World. I feel like Ani's energy is very deeply connected to it. And if you've worked with her, you know what I mean. I tell people all the time that my experiences in going to Haiti shifted my life so much and had such a deep impact on me. I know that's the type of work I want to do. I might not be able to do it in the way that Ani does it, but I do want to be able to travel the world and to make impacts on people's lives and their emotional and psychological health. She has such an intense energy. Intense. I told people, like, I paid as a volunteer to go work for 2 weeks in Haiti. We work like 14 to 16-hour days, up early in the morning, doing our physical, our yoga, our dream journaling, and then going out into the community and doing the work. And it was not easy work, as you all know, because we go to these different countries that don't have the same conveniences we have here in location. To another can be very challenging and wearing on your body. But Ani works hard, and she will also have a good balance in like playing hard too. So we might work a 16-hour day, and then she might be like, let's go dancing. We can go dance. We work really hard today. We deserve, to enjoy dinner. We're typing out these newsletters and stuff. And then after that, we can go dance a little bit, because we need to also have that balance in our lives. And just your energy and fire and intensity in this organization it's just so many words. I'm just tearing up thinking about all my experiences. They're just so beautiful. But yeah, it's had a very powerful impact on me, and I'm glad I was able to be a part of the organization and still want to do more work in the future, and be able to support people and plant whatever seeds I was able to plant, and to learn so much, just so much that can't even really be described in words. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shayla.
Can I say hi to Shayla?
Yes,
Hi, Shayla.
yes.
I love you. We did play really hard. It was a lot of work, but thank you, Ani, for all those fun experiences there too.
And Lorraine is here if you want to say
Hi, Lorraine.
say how the humanitarian mission has changed you.
It takes me out of my comfort zone, that's for sure. I just love spending time with all the interns and the ambassadors that go with us, and just getting to know the people we're working with helps me expand my heart more and more every time I meet someone and they're looking for our guidance and support, and to be able to give it to them. It opens my heart so big that I just can't stand it sometimes. I get overwhelmed. Ani knows how to work hard and play hard, and I like that quality, and I like to do that myself. So I really respect that.
Thank you so much. Let's continue the names. KSHATRIYA was one of them, and he had an emergency meeting and he rushed out. He texted me.
Marian Weisberg.
Marian Weisberg, yes, she's at work, and she was on a mission in Armenia with us.
And Jen Zondo?
Jen Zendo, yes, she was with us, Africa and Haiti, and she's the one that helped us with these films. Some of the films, Lorraine helped with the others. So let's invite Jasmine, please. Let's see a few minutes of Haiti mission.
It is the goal of Meaningful World to create sustainable programs around the world. So we are very excited to announce the Meaningful World Haiti chapter is now an official nonprofit NGO. During our numerous missions to Haiti, we have developed strong connections with many people, and due to our ability to be consistent in our work there, we help them establish a chapter which will continue with mental health education and awareness throughout the year. The Haiti team is planning events 3 times per year. They will promote and educate mental health awareness and psychological healing for well-being and creating meaning in life. Their first program was to be held on 10 October, World Mental Health Day. Sadly, due to civil unrest, the fuel crisis, and violent demonstrations, it was necessary to postpone their program for another time. While unable to meet in person due to the dangers of violence in the streets, the team continues to support one another through WhatsApp and video meetings when possible. The US team continues to be of support as well. Haitians are desperate for change and solid leadership. They want an opportunity to thrive, feed, and educate their children, and live a life with meaning and in peace. We teach them about the Sustainable Development Goals that promise free education, and through the 7-step integrative healing model, we teach mindfulness, self-care, empathy, energy release, and peace and forgiveness for emotional freedom. We teach the importance of being responsible for themselves, as well as caring for one another and their environment. Why do we still go to Haiti? We go there to teach them how to reverse the repression and to nurture hope. We are hopeful because despite of the atmosphere of violence in the streets, burning tires, shuttered businesses, and destruction, there was an artist-led peaceful resistance march, 13 October. Thousands took to the streets to protest without violence.
We have many of these films on our YouTube channel. We invite you to please go and subscribe, forward it to your friends. Together, as we say at Meaningful World, when one helps another, both become stronger. And we also have another wonderful motto: shared sorrow is only half sorrow, while shared joy is double joy. So hopefully together with this celebration, we have become more joyous. We doubled our joy and we shed some tears, maybe I and Julie did. And together we stand stronger. Let's invite Nat, Natasha, who is our research coordinator, who will share an important message about what we're doing currently with COVID research, and we need your help to please get more people to complete the surveys. Our goal is 1,000, and we have 300. So we need each one of you to be the ambassadors of change. Nat?
Thank you, Dr. Ani. First, I just want to say that I'm so inspired with all that I'm hearing, and thank you all for sharing all those stories. That generous spirit, I have to say, I'm here in Puerto Rico and just resonates all the way to the Caribbean, so thank you for that. Well, like you were saying, we are working on a research, on a COVID research, and I know that some of you are new, so welcome. What we are doing right now, we are currently recruiting for a study in the emotional and psychological impact of the pandemic. But what we're looking at right now is trajectories of growth. I think it resonates with what we've been talking right now. We're looking at spirituality, forgiveness, meaning making. So those are some of the variables that we're looking for. And like Dr. Ani said, we're close to 300, but we want to gather 1,000 participants. So a few things that we want to do as first, please share in your social media accounts. Please share with your friends and families and coworkers. Any social circle that you have, we would really appreciate if you share the link. I will.
Thank you so much, everyone. This has been such a pleasure and wonderful, uplifting sharing. And I hope we have more opportunities we'll create. And let's together take a moment of silence with gratitude and appreciation of everyone's efforts to make life a meaningful world. Thank you for joining us, and have a meaningful, peaceful, and enjoyable, healthy day. Bye-bye.